traders. When I left you on Monday, I wasn't around yesterday, traveled back to cooler climes. We were talking about the dollar. I thought there was a chance it might be a failing rally. I warned about the breakout, so I did turn. It's hard to do because I had taken profits earlier at 97.40, but I paid 97.90. It was posted in the room. I took half off yesterday and still here. I tried some scalps that were not rewarding, and you have to go with the breakout now. Um, except I wouldn't press it here. Okay, don't press this breakout here, and I'll show you in a minute why. But there's no two ways about it. Over 98 did it, and you have to be willing to turn when you get a major signal. Okay, so I kept saying, or we could break out, or we could break out. So those were the two possibilities, and here we are, we're breaking out. Here's the reason I wouldn't press it. Okay, it's because Euro is approaching this black line, pretty important level. If you look left, I know it's closed, the day's not over. We have the Fed. Most people are, probably pricing in nothing's going to happen. I don't know what he's going to say in the presser, but I would not be pressing the short side of Euro. Now, what I'd be looking for is some type of reaction, and I might even try it again, some type of reaction in the Euro to possibly back towards 116, which was a big area. And look, we have confluence of things at about 61.8 at 1650. I haven't done anything to commit to it. Also, you have a little bit of divergence in cable here. Don't press it. This could end up being some type of rally back to 4.5 or so. So, although the dollar has a breakout, there's a time when you don't chase. And if you did miss it, just sit on your hands and wait for maybe potentially a buying opportunity and some type of pullback. Could even get one back towards the breakout in the next several days. So, what you have to say then is next. So, the dollar strength has carried forward in the precious metals that I warned about last week, and gold is pressing the lows right here. I'm still looking for lower numbers. I'll stick with my 3,000 number for now. Just this move right here is a pretty good move from 440 to call it 140 from here. So 140 from here is going to give you 31 and a half. So we're at least going to take out the 3,200 handle. I know a lot of people are looking at that as an area. And even getting to the silver, gold silver ratios popping a little bit. I was talking about silver maybe going towards 37, maybe 36 in the coming weeks before we see another rally back to new highs for a third drive. That still looks to be intact. And then yesterday I did do something right. The last couple days, NASDAQ went to my number that I talked about here quite a few times. It hit it twice, and it was the 23.5 level. Okay, so we got up to here. It's 23,535, close enough for government work. What were these highs? Yeah, 450. So we finally got to it. This was Monday. Here's my bigger picture in NASDAQ, and I do think that a correction is underway, that it's starting this week. Maybe the strong dollar and higher yields are part of it. But I could see 21.6. So that's about 8-10% in NASDAQ coming down the road. And here's the S&Ps rolling over as well. Just has a little bit of a stronger pattern, but it was weaker yesterday. And, last time I was looking for, the 6130, which was the previous high that we broke out of. And here you go. Here's 6130 for a target. And then I think we could go for the 200-day down here and maybe clean out stops under the 59.20 over the next several weeks. We'll see what happens into August, September. So most markets under pressure. This was pretty sneaky in the 10-year. It looked like we were going to have a head and shoulders breakdown, and that's the way it looked yesterday. And then we had some strong economic news. I don't know what to do with it. The bonds were looking very good yesterday, so not doing anything with it. WTI has had a couple of good days. Looks like we're trying to come out of here unless it's just an ABC. But what I'm interested in, and it's starting to get closer to approaching prices, we're starting to diverge in nat gas. I think someone asked me about nat gas. I've had this line drawn for quite some time. Uh, it's a return line. I guess I have to go the weekly, and it's all the way down at, I believe, 2.5. So I'm being patient to go with natural gas, but I think that, yeah, it's going to come in closer to 2 if we get down here, which looks like that's going to happen if we take out this low. So if we have something like this from here, it could give us the low 2s for natural gas. I do want to point out Uber. You guys know I've been bearish Uber for a while, and it was already 10% off the highs before we had any kind of sell off yesterday. And check out the daily in Uber. That's a weekly, but you can see we're breaking down. But I want to show you the daily because it's an interesting formation. They're fairly rare, especially as large of an island top as it is. So here's your island top. So you have all these longs trapped here. And I was saying this was the head and shoulders that measured towards 82. I still think that's a possibility, and that will even. I have a couple of moving average both on the daily and the weekly coming in around 76. Under 76, look out. I think we'll head sub 60. I don't know what's going on with Uber, but like I said, everyone I talked to was long, or they liked it, or they were looking to get long. I've seen or heard no bearish narratives for Uber. And what I did was really based upon a 3 drive to a top, which was here. And then we had this throw over negated. Now we're having this wedge negated. So that looks negative. I do think that on the dollar, and, this was a falling wedge. In fact, this was a line that Henrik had me draw up when I was interviewing last week. I had a different wedge line, and he had me draw it across its top. But if you believe in the technical definition of what a market could do when it breaks up out of a falling wedge or breaks down out of a rising wedge, you can get 100% retracement. So this high up here is 101.5. And when I was talking about a dollar bottom, I thought we, before it was over, get back towards 103. But this is um, targeting where I anchored the edge at 101.5. So we'll see if we get some kind of retrace move. Again, don't chase it. This 1450 level is big. You know, all I had to do was just sit with my short euro from last week, would have been a home run ball. But the key word in trading is next, and next was the S&Ps and the Nasdaq, and I think I have pretty good conviction. We'll see what the Fed says in the presser, but we're getting some negative action. I mean, in the Nasdaq at this last high here, um, check out the daily. So we made that one last high. That's a daily. Here's the 4 hour. Look at the glaring divergence we had from that top candle under 67. And the S&Ps actually yesterday made a lower high. So it confirmed, but it made a lower high. So we just need to take out this level here. It's a pretty important level right here, about 360. And that should open the door for 62 and then eventually lower levels. So uh, good luck today into the Fed. Don't press the short side of the dollar. If you still have them, nothing wrong with taking profits there too. And I'll let you know if I'm going to attempt short side scalps, which I've been getting a little nicked up on. Long side scalps on cable and Aussie, much deeper than I thought it would be. I'm gone. I scratched a lot of trades without damage, and the dollar, you can't argue with this breakout, right? So Also, the dollar, if you get that supports a 101 objective, the low, let's call it the low 96 to 98 and a half, that's 2.5. And if we use a fib extension on a C or a 3, 1.618 would be 400 points. So 400 points is going to get you par 80. So there's lots of confluence. I think that's where we're going. Seems like it could only be a day or so away, but I would not chase this move in the dollar right now. And mainly because Euro's been leading it down and it's approaching that major support level. There are still some people that think we could hold 114.50 and make a run at new highs. But see, we're always starting to bounce here. So if you're still short the euro from last week, I'd book it all right here. Okay. And you're either going to want to trade a counter trend or just sit on your hands and go with the trend and look for sales up here around 116, 116 and a half. Yen is accomplishing what I said it would accomplish because of this confirmed high. And you know what the difference is this time? I'm not sure we're quite there yet, but we've had two consecutive highs, where we've had confirmed highs. So, what's beautiful about the RSI? The RSI can um, help you call the trend and stay with the trend. So here's the example. Confirmed high. I said, buy it, we'll take out this high, right? We took out this high, confirmed high. So you buy a break. And now we're making a new high without confirmation, which tells me we're getting closer to completion of this move in the end. So I'll be eyeballing this too in the next several days. Don't want to get in front of, I think, the BOJ. I think they're this week. Anyway, lots of news yet to come, NFP, etc. So trade well. Hope I saved you a little anguish in the metals, and we'll see what happens there. And being patient for the dollar to pull back. And my longer term target, if this is the top in the euro, is deeper than most. So a rally to 116 would still be a great short because here's my target under 110. Okay, so that's where I think we're going. And that would just be a correction from the low at 82, might be close to 50, 61, 8% back. And then the dollar gets trashed again. This will probably be 101, 102. Okay, so good hunting, everyone. Remember to pay attention and go into the rooms. I post there. I posted stock index trades there, everything I do. So good luck. If you have any questions, leave them under the video. You have any requests, let me know, and I'll give you my view. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings.